guess the example of diversity that impacted us the most this month was watching a teenager named Estrella at our church. So she's a ninth grader, and she's lived in New York City her whole life. And she has attended Grace Fellowship since the church started around 9 years ago. So she is different than most of the other people at Grace Fellowship. She's young, she's a teenager. She's Peruvian. Most of the congregation is Korean and white, and then there's like a small Peruvian group. But Grace Fellowship needs her, and the kids at City Camp needed her, and the teams that came in to minister, they needed her as well. So she was the first person who came up and talked to me when we were at Grace our first Sunday, and at first I was shocked as to why this teenager just pranced up and started talking to me. But once I kind of got over the shock, she made me feel really welcome, and she's just the sweetest person in the world. So she showed up early every day for City Camp. She got there before all the kids. When the team was there setting up, she was there for prayer in the morning before it started. She was there to help translate Spanish for the kids who couldn't speak English, and for the teachers who couldn't speak Spanish. And so she was just always around just to help whoever and however needed help, just offering her big smile. And so I'm thankful to have gotten to know Estrella this month, and I needed her this month.
Okay, last but not least. Yeah, the Shims are with us in. They're actually, yeah.
All right, guys ready? Ready for this?
There we go. Now we're on.
No.
Now we're on.
Yeah.
Two people.
Yay, community.
You can learn a language.
Asking questions.
Listening.
Being a movement.
No, it wasn't listening.
No.
Hearing language.
That's really nice. Listen.
What?
Communication.
Communication.
So one of the big things that we learned is that communication is effective. Communication is key to connecting with people, and that we have to be very intentional in our communication and how we communicate and thinking about how we're going to communicate. So, you know, like the guy at the deli downstairs, we saw him like every other day because we were picking up milk. You know, he would have been a perfect person for us to really start having a relationship with and connecting with. And connecting with people on our team, being very intentional about the words you choose and how you say things and how you work with them and how you relate with them. And with the listening, stopping speaking and being very intentional about listening and observing and looking around you. So it really made me think about not just going through my day and being all about me and doing what I had to do, but really kind of stopping and thinking about how I was communicating and also in listening to the Spirit and what the Spirit and being sensitive to what the Spirit was doing before me. But just that communication and doing things on a deeper level rather than just being very superficial. Choosing who you spent time with, or choosing who you didn't spend time with maybe, or what you didn't do, but on that communication level, just making it deeper.
She took one of my points, but that's okay. So we talked about peeling the onion, and that was key, especially for me. I said in one of our talks earlier in the month that obviously I'm kind of outgoing, but Jen will go into a room, and I'll talk with people. I mean, I'll talk with anybody, but Jen talks to people. So I'll come out of the room and say, "Hey," you should be like, "Well, who was that?" I'm like, "I don't know." "What's his name?" "I don't know." "You know anything about him?" "No, he's a nice guy." You know, but she could come out with an entire life history. You know, so I learned more about stopping and actually getting deeper and asking those questions. A lot of the ethnicity and the cultural training that we got was very good about asking those questions and getting past the "Hi, how you doing?" So I mean, that was key for me. That's one of the things I definitely need to take into the field with me. Some of the other things we learned was, look at my notes, was church and where you're at. You know, we're from the Midwest, so it's kind of the build it and they will come kind of thing. Where here, you know, I think all of us were in like church plants. I mean, you were in the community. You were, you know, they went to church and started the church in the community, and it was all about the community. And that's one of the things that we've kind of taken out of this. We struggled with, at least for us in the field. We're going to a small, very small community, and we've struggled with, geez, do we go to a church in this little village where they speak Spanish? It's different worship than we're used to, or do we go outside of that to the larger city and you know, go there to be fed? We've decided after the month here that no, it really is important that we attend church in the village where we're ministering, that to be part of the community. So it's been eye-opening this month.
One more picture for you.
You were somewhere we were not.
Costa Rica.
Paradise. Other side.
Very calm. Now you're just showing off.
You're changing your field. You're changing your
This
field.
is actually the only picture I can draw, so I did it.
Doesn't mean anything.
Okay, Uptown, after Uptown, we'll take a short break, and then we'll come back with the Greek church.